What's up, everyone? It is your girl GELBEAUTY 87 here, aka Grace, and it's time for another episode of palettes that inspire me. So this series is basically about the palettes in my eyeshadow collection that I truly love, that I'd like to use a lot, but I always test out new things and find new things to love and use. So I'm just basically going back in my collection and pulling out things that bring me joy or inspire me to make eye looks and sharing the eye looks with you today. So today's episode is with the Unearthly Cosmetics Vitality palette. This is literally one of my all-time favorite Unearthly Cosmetics palettes. And the funny thing is, if y'all remember when I first tried it out, I was talking about how it was hard pressing the pan, it was hard to pick up and all that. I don't know if it was just like the first layer that was hard, but after I got over that first layer, I've had no issues with this palette whatsoever. I love the color story of it. I love the way it's set up, kind of like blend bunny, if you will, because you got your row of purples, you got your row of blues, you got your row of like, I guess this is greens, if you will, like, or two sections worth of greens, and then you got a nice little neutral orangish row, and you got your pink row. So it's like, I really love this palette and the way it's set up. And I've done looks for like each row. Like I've done looks with these two rows together, then I did looks with these two rows, and looks with these two rows. If you all remember from the initial video I did with this, I did 3 looks just because it had so many different fun colors to choose from. And this is truly one of my all-time favorite palettes from the brand that inspires me. So I'm excited to be able to use it again today. I did an old school versus new school with it alongside another palette. So this palette's been getting a lot of love from me because I really adore it, and am so excited to have it in my collection. So if you're curious what's on my eyes right now, this is the Glam Light X Michaela, what, a 10 pan palette. The one I told you all was a good alternative to the Smoke Sessions palette if you didn't like how deep Smoke Sessions went and the lack of transition shades and things like that. Michaela's has more of a brown but still somewhat green finish to it, so you can have like a smoky eye like I do now, or you can do more of an everyday neutralist type eye with a lighter shimmer like the one that's in my inner corner. So just in case you're curious what's going on up here, that's what's going on. So I'm gonna go off camera, figure out which colors in this palette I'm going to use, because as you see, I have a good variety to choose from. So I have no idea what I'm going to do. Last time I used it, I did this little section right here against the other palette. So I'm thinking maybe we can just do a blue, green, purple moment. But since I got 2 other palettes I just did this with for this same series, I don't know if y'all want to see that. So I might just stick to one of the rows individually. But since it's supposed to be what I'm inspired by, whatever I'm inspired by during this video, I will do. And then I will come back with swatches on my arm showing you which colors I picked out of the palette, and then we'll go from there. So I'll be right back. Okay, girl? Okay. Okay, y'all, so here's the eye I was inspired to make with the Vitality palette. I told you I was gonna stick to the blues, and that's what I did. So I had to use this white to whiten up the eyeliner, because like it is really dull. This is the Stila 21 Days of, for the Stila white eyeliner from 20 Days of Beauty. Like I had to whiten it up with white eyeshadow in order to make it that bright, so it doesn't really give that much pigmentation, and then it's like really streaky and hard to use. So I don't recommend it personally, random side note, but I just took this deeper shade right here. This is what's in my inner corner, and this is what's in, sorry, this is what's on my lid. This is in the front of the eye, and then I took this shade, made it my inner corner shade. So that's what we're working with today, girl. So I got my eyeshadow primer on, so let's get into it. So I started off with this shade right here, Gusto, just because that's the only one that would work in the crease to pull off this look, because I don't have too much of anything else that I can use. This shade, I'm sure this side of the eye is dry by now when it comes to the eyeshadow primer, just because I put it on at the same time. I squeeze out too much, and you know how that goes, so you have to just rub it on out. So it's interesting trying to put on eyeshadow without it being wet. It's not tugging as much when I'm blending out, which I'm finding weird, because I'm used to having to like pull back from it being wet. So that's weird, but you know, whatever, it's not that big a deal. You'd think I'd like that because it make it easier to do it, but you know, whatever. Can you focus, please? Dang. Thank you. So I'm just winning out the shade Gusto, because that's what it's called. Y'all, I got so much shimmer and glitter underneath my eyes. I'm just like, Lord Jesus. Because all the shades I'm using really sparkly and have lots of glittery shimmer and pigment in them. So I'm just like, So now I'm going to use the shade Striking. That's the really dark blue one. For once I didn't put a color in the crease, I was just like, we're going to leave that alone and not do that for once. Even though I like to do it on occasion, I just wasn't feeling like doing it today. So we're not going to do that. Thank you so much. We're not doing that. So y'all see, I'm just building up the color Striking. This blue. I'm on like my 4th or 5th eyeshadow look of the day. I want to say it's 4, which I'm proud of myself, because it's at 10:30, so I'm gonna take a break, and then I'm gonna do my next 4. I'm gonna take a break, make lunch, then try to come back at 12 o'clock, from 12 to 2, get as many done as I can. Then Adriangameover, I'll leave at 2. I need to go get some gas in the gas station, And it's $3.50, thank God, because I was like wondering about the prices being high. So I can, that's what is the price? It's been going down a little bit, which I'm happy about, because I'm like, look here, no to these gas prices, just no. So that's what I'm working with. I've messed up the outfit I have on right now. It has so much makeup around the collar from me having to try a new foundation. And I was supposed to take pictures in it for my cousin on her website, so I'm like, I'm gonna have to wash it and then try to do it again tomorrow. The only thing is, since it's a turtleneck, it's like I don't want to like try to pull the turtleneck over to do makeup. So it's like I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna do as far as like around here when I'm putting the makeup on. So I might have to put a scarf on top of it or something like that to make sure makeup doesn't actually get around the rim of here. It's quite made up, so I'm gonna have to probably try to soak it in something tonight and make sure I get that done. Okay, now let's get into the blue shade that's called Delight. So that's light blue I put in the very front of the eye because I felt like it. I was like, yeah, we're just gonna do this cute light blue moment here, and then we'll marry it with a shimmer. Because I actually did an all matte look in this series, y'all, believe it or not. I know, right? Who am I? Because y'all know, I know that's there's a little Kanikovich's thing, like all matte looks. I'm like, I'm not an all matte look girl, so I was like, let me try it out. But it was a look I had did like a super long time ago on Instagram. You obviously said you liked it, so in this palette that inspired me series, I just decided to go ahead and do it in here. Like I said, I'm just putting this blue right here in the front, and then we're gonna mirror it together with the shimmery shade called Bounce, which I have dug into quite a bit, more than I realized, because it's like a nice little chunk missing in it. So I'm just like, there we go. That's what I'm working with. See how nice and bright that is? I'm loving it. It definitely is giving me all the feels. So now, of course, you know we gotta go with the glitter glue and cut to make sure it's even. I'm always concerned when I do halo eyes because I'm always like, I don't want to cut too far over and then they look uneven. But it's like once you start putting the glitter glue down, you just gotta go with it, girl. So I'm hoping, I'm praying it turns out okay. See how it goes. Okay, now let's get into the shimmery shade. So like I said, I'm going to use the shade Bounce. Then I'm going to go downstairs and wash this set of brushes and edit some stuff while I'm sitting down making Adriangameover lunch, because that's what I have to go do honestly. Make Adriangameover lunch, make myself some lunch, and edit some videos in between, just relaxing, because since I got up so early, I'm not really a morning, like early rise in the morning person. I feel like I'm going to be regretting this later on in the day. I need to have me a recoup moment before I can like finish off or whatever, so that's all I'm like, yeah. So that looks pretty. And you can put a little bit more on this side. The blue in this part right here to me looks a little patchy, but I'm hoping it's just me. Because when I was close up, you didn't see any patchiness, right? But it just seems like it's a little patch that the eyeshadow just doesn't want to sit on. And I'm trying to figure out why. But put some more on this side too. I'll take this and dust all around. Now let's get into the inner corner shade. So that shade is called Energy. It's just the yellow shimmery inner corner shade with the green sparkles at the top. That's similar to the shade in the Garden of Juvia's palette that I've used. Yeah, so this is your finished eye look. I must say I am here for it. I think it turned out pretty nice. I wasn't sure how it was gonna go, but I think it turned out okay. So back you on up. So that's just another way I was inspired to use this palette. I am so inspired when it comes to this palette. This is literally one of my all-time favorite Unearthly Cosmetics palettes. And the funny thing is, y'all know when I first tried it, I didn't like it because I felt like the stuff was too hard pressed in the pan. But I guess after using it over time, it's kind of softened up and like, you know, warmed up and gotten easier to use. Because I am obsessed, and I'm just obsessed with the color story too. Like every time I look at it, I can just see a different look to do with it. So this was just another one of the looks I came up with to do with you today. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. Remember, you all are diamonds, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Be blessed, girl. Bye.